So this is going to be a Mississippi John Hurt lesson on a song called Spike Driver Blues. Now I've got my guitar tuned a whole step lower than what's usual just because I just want to keep the string tension on my guitar low. So basically just don't mind the fact that I've got a capo up here. It's really just to match everybody else in standard tuning. But just get your guitar into standard tuning and you'll be good to go. This song's out of G, so just get used to playing this position, and I'll go through it once and then we'll go through what he plays. Alright, so with this song, basically it's just got an alternating bass line on the bottom, in G, and then in C, and then back in G, but a little different. So 3 different forms of the bass line. But until we get to that, I thought we could just quickly go over the treble parts first and then match them up with the bass line. So the first thing that there is this. And the way that starts is just on the 3rd fret of the B string, so without the bend I guess. Open top string, 3rd fret of the top E string, and then 1st fret of the top E string, back to that 3rd fret, and now 3rd fret of the G string, open B string, open G string. Alright, so now one thing to keep in mind is that this song being in the key of G, you won't be fretting it probably your normal typical way like this, but you'll actually be doing it like this. The reason being is that now you've got a free finger to essentially toggle back and forth between the regular G and the G7. Whereas with this, if you're to fret it like this, you need to change like this. I don't know if this is how you normally fret a G chord. But actually it might be good practice to just usually play a G chord like this. It's so easy to change between its modes. But anyways, the relevant point being that now that you've got this lick going, you'll have to keep in mind that you will be holding down some bass notes down here when you're playing this song. So, try and play these, well, do play these with your pinky finger and your 1st finger. It'll just make the transition or melding of bass line and treble part a lot smoother once we get there in a minute here. So that's the first bit, and now there's this. And then this. So what that is just open B string, 3rd fret of the G string, open B string, and back to the open G string. Now that's just kind of a cool little swap between the major 3rd and the minor 3rd. So this is how it actually comes in. Right there. Alright, Alright, so now the next part, and these will be the final couple bits here, is just on the first fret of the top E string, then third fret of the B string, open top E string, first fret. Now it's the same thing again, but now with the third fret of the top E string. So third fret of the top E, third fret of the B, open E, back to that third fret. So and then it's just a repeat now. Here's a toggle. And now these last couple bits. Oh, I missed it. Alright, now let's put that together with the bass part. Now, you got this lick. Fit that with the bass part, it'll be the top or bottom E string, third fret, alternating with the open D string. Alright, so just get that alternating bass going. Mississippi John Hurt kind of mutes the bottom and lets that D string ring out, which kind of makes for a cool effect. A little thumpy and stuff, so try keeping that in mind, but it's just going to be alright, so that's that first bit. Now note where the on beats and off beats are. On, off. That might take some practice right there. Now, he basically goes up to the 4 chord. It doesn't really sound that marked, if you know what I mean, but it's gonna change the bass line from being here to being here. And so instead of the open D string now, you'll be playing the second fret of the D string. So for that bass line now, you're gonna have 2 fingers locked down. Alright, and so now you play that toggle lick. So first get used to this bass maybe a little bit, and then remind yourself of the lick. It's this. Now try and put them together slowly. And then from there it's back to a normal G bass line, except it'll be a bit different. But before we get to that, let's just go over this bit again. So again, the on and off beats are crucial. So there you'll notice where the modified little bass line is, and I'll tell you that now. It's going to be a 3rd fret, bottom E, D string open, 2nd fret of the A string, and this is where it's different. Back to the D string open, and now bottom string. So if we come back to here, it's still on that C thing. So then, the moment you hit this open G string, you're back into this modified bass line again. have so far. It's different toggle, new bassline, and that's where we are. So now we get this. Now the bassline, it sounds overcomplicated if I try and describe it, I think, so I'll play it once and then put it into words in a confusing way, but it'll help if you try and see what I'm doing right now, so. And the song's done there pretty much. So what you were to notice, I guess, is that it's normal for the first bit. From there, it's only these little simple alternating bass lines that we were playing in the beginning of the song. But then the moment you finish this, then he does one of those weird bass lines, those intricate bass lines, with the A string 2nd fret. So slowly, you'll notice, starts with just a simple one, and now he does that weird one. And now back to just a couple normal ones, and then a weird one. Now that'll take a lot of practice maybe to get your fingers together, but one thing I'd recommend is that when you gotta fret these, the first fret on the lead side, and then you gotta switch between here and all that stuff. So, for instance, with a lick like that, where you've got to go on this side to this side, then, and then back to that side. Point your hand that way when you're on that side, and then I kind of, to exaggerate, I'll just bring my elbow over, and you'll notice now my arm's pointing this way. These two fingers are constant, but just to help my fingers get to where they want to be on the treble side, I'm just moving my arm a bit to help with that. You might find that helps. But yeah, that's pretty much the tune, so let's go through it. You'll notice now I'm moving my arm. C bass line, weird bass line, normal, weird, normal, weird. And I'm again moving my fingers back and forth, whether it be the 3rd fret on this B string or the top E string, to the 1st fret of this top E string. I'm kind of rocking my arm back and forth, maybe. But hopefully that kind of provides some insight into how to play the song. Otherwise, just let me know how it goes and take your time with it, because it's easy to get the fingers tangled up in this region. But make sure you just keep it simple and try to be as clear and concise with the notes as possible, and just work from there, and eventually it'll come.